It was only a few months ago that three centrist Democrats in the United States Senate broke ranks with the rest of the Democratic Party and decided to go with the Republicans in confirming William Barr as the Attorney General. Two of those three are now starting to think, oops, we may have made a bit of a mistake here because William Barr is not the pillar of integrity that we had apparently thought that he was. Those two people happen to be Democratic Senators Doug Jones from Alabama and Joe Manchin of West Virginia. Two people who have never in their lives been accused of being a liberal or a progressive or anyone far enough to the left of the center to be considered effective. And so now these two men, in interviews yesterday following Barr's Senate testimony, came out and they didn't quite say they regret it yet, but they've both said, check with me tomorrow because I may regret it tomorrow. Here are some exact quotes here. This is Doug Jones. He said he was, quote, greatly disappointed in what I am seeing in the Attorney General. I also thought he would bring this institutional stability to the Department of Justice and not be the president's personal lawyer. And he seems like he is moving and has moved toward a less independent role. When asked if he regretted his vote, Jones said, I'm getting close to that. I haven't said that yet, but it sure is so disappointing. I'm getting close. You might want to check tomorrow. Joe Manchin, on the other hand, was actually a little more stern than good old Dougie Jones, and he said the following. He said, absolutely, I have buyer's remorse. I would have made a big mistake. But the question wasn't, do you have buyer's remorse now? It was, if what Mueller said about Barr mischaracterizing the report is true, would you have buyer's remorse? So Joe Manchin almost has buyer's remorse. It's going to depend on whether or not William Barr is telling the truth. Manchin continues, he says, it's troubling, absolutely, the difference between the interpretation between what Mueller really meant and what he intended, and he thought he didn't present it properly, and Barr said he basically did represent it properly. So Joe Manchin's still on the fence because for some reason Joe Manchin doesn't know if William Barr lied yet. Honest to God, I think Joe Manchin's the only person in the country who doesn't know if William Barr lied yet, because we all know that the man lied. We know that. Robert Mueller said it. Mischaracterization is a fancy word for you just lied to everybody. But here's what gets me about this, is that these people, Joe Manchin and Doug Jones, do they not know who William Barr is? Did they know nothing about his history? Did they not study or learn about or take 5 seconds to look on Wikipedia and find out the role that William Barr played in pardoning all the folks from Iran-Contra, people who should have been in prison? And it was William Barr who became known as, quote, the cover-up general. That's been his role throughout American history. That's what he does. This is who he is. Don't act like he ever had integrity. The man never did. He was never going to bring stability to anything except for the Republican Party by preventing its members from going to jail. That is what William Barr does. That is what he has always done. And that is exactly why he was hired to do this. Doug Jones and Joe Manchin are lying to themselves and to the American public if they're honestly out there saying, I'm shocked that this man would do this. No, you knew this man would do this. You just didn't know that everybody else in the country would catch on and suddenly look back at you and say, well, hold up. You voted for this guy, one of three Democrats who did. So what the hell were you thinking? You see, Doug Jones and Joe Manchin never thought they'd have to answer for that vote, and it came back to bite them just a few months after they cast them. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget, if you like what you see here, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And now you can also become a member of Ring of Fire and get exclusive early access to certain Ring of Fire videos all throughout the week. Just click on the little join button right below the video.